Thank you so much, Ashraf. I am honored to be in the presence of so many wonderful long-term dissidents and people who have been fighting, struggle. Certainly, I know that Faith McDonald has been doing this for many, many years. And it's an honor and a privilege to be here, and I'm humbled in your presence. When Ashraf asked me to do this, he also asked me to talk about something that I am passionate about in the Middle East, and there's nothing at this moment that I'm more passionate about than Iran. Today, we're living in a time when the entire world, not just Israel, not just the Middle East, not just Europe, but the entire world is being threatened by a heinous, calculating, crazy but calculating tyrannical regime in Iran with nuclear and hegemonic ambitions. They have been the destabilizing influence in the Middle East, responsible for the equipping, recruitment, and training of Hezbollah and Hamas and Al-Qaeda. And southern Lebanon has now become an Iranian proxy state through the terrorist group Hezbollah, and Gaza has become an Iranian proxy state through their equipping and arming and training of Hamas. No one doubts that it is Iran that is responsible for the manufacturing and the shipment of the IEDs, the heavy arms, and the roadside bombs that have killed and maimed our American servicemen in Iraq and in Afghanistan. This apocalyptic, theocratic regime thinks it will be bringing the coming of the 12th Imam, the Messiah, by using its nuclear weapons project, which they are assiduously working to complete, first against Israel and then against the rest of the world. As soon as the mullahs came into power, they declared war on the United States by taking our embassy officials hostage. They despise America, the great Satan, just as much as they despise Israel, the minor Satan. And they have made their intentions perfectly clear that when Ahmadinejad first announced in 2005 that they will wipe Israel off the map, and they are working assiduously by the moment to do this. As the wonderful legal scholar and Canadian parliamentarian Irwin Cutler has pointed out, Iran is already guilty under international law of the crime of incitement to commit genocide, and it should be taken to the International Criminal Court in The Hague, and there should be international tribunals there. If we wait until the day after the crime is committed, such as was the case with the Holocaust, with the Armenian genocide, or what happened with the Bosnian Serbs, or the Rwandans, or the people in Darfur, the day after is too late. As the Soviet dissident Andrei Sakharov said, if you want to know how a country will behave internationally, look at how it treats its own people. The mullah's record of abuse towards its own people is nothing short of deplorable. It was only a year and a half ago, in June of 2009, that our television screens flashed with the faces of those beautiful freedom-loving dissidents in the street who were crying out for our support to overthrow the mullahs and to replace that regime's Western-style democracy. Since the fraudulent results of the June 12, 2009 sham elections had been announced, they've bravely taken to the streets again and again, risking everything, even their very lives, but for some reason it is not picked up in the Western press. Everyone remembers the beautiful face of the young demonstrator, 26-year-old Nada Adam Sultan, as she was bludgeoned to death while going to one of the post-election charade demonstrations. But there are scores of Nadas out there who are anonymously meeting their deaths and suddenly disappearing from the streets. They are being tortured, raped, and summarily executed through hangings and public stonings. I'll just mention three quickly because I don't have very much time, morally abhorrent cases, but if I were to highlight all of them, we could be here for at least a week. Less than 1 week ago, on December 10th, a quote-unquote confession was extorted by the Iranians that was aired on Iranian state TV for Sakana Mahmoud Ashtiani, when she was taken out of her prison and forced to reenact her, quote, crime. Sakana is a 43-year-old mother of two who since 2006 has been expected to be executed at any moment now for the crime of, quote, committing adultery while married. She was also, in a double whammy, was charged with the murder of her husband. Sakani is Abujani, and she doesn't speak a word of Farsi, and she didn't have her lawyer present when she agreed to her sentencing. It's unbelievable. She has no, I said, no language of Farsi. Okay, she did this without a lawyer present. There is actually, believe it or not, a wonderful article that came out in this week's New Republic, written by Bernard Henry Levy about the case of Sakana, who is becoming, she should be a Naja. People should know her name, they should know her face. What has happened to this poor woman is absolutely egregious. And there is a petition online which we should all sign to free her. They are thinking that they will stone her to death this week. It is, Ayatollah Syed Hossein Kazmani Barzadi, or also known as Hossein Kazmani Barzadi, is an Iranian Shia Muslim cleric who has been in prison since 2006 because he advocates the separation of mosque and state. He reportedly first expressed his opposition to the theocratic nature of the Islamic government of Iran, under which Islamic jurists rule or provide guardianship for everything in 1994. He has been arrested and imprisoned and released many times. Now the Iranians have charged him by claiming that he is the representative of the Hidden Imam, or that he is, has messianic thoughts about himself. And just on November 8th, 2010, 6 of his followers were arrested from their homes in Tehran, and a 7th was arrested in December 6th because they're his followers. Mohammed Davri is a teacher and editor of the Saham News website. On September 8th, 2009, he was taken from his home and arrested because, as an editor, he went to investigate reports of rapes and abuses in the Karazak Detention Center. And because he was there with a video camera to investigate, he's been incarcerated for more than 2 years. Natan Sharansky has said that the basic lesson of his lifelong struggle for freedom was for the oppressed to find the inner strength to confront evil. And for those of us who are fortunate enough to live in freedom, it's our obligation to find the moral clarity to be able to recognize evil. And once we recognize evil, we must speak out. We must do everything in our power to protect those around the globe who are more vulnerable in the face of evil. Otherwise, we are only feeding the beast. And as Sir Winston Churchill famously said, he who feeds the crocodile is only eaten last. Thank you very much.